Welcome back to Earth, 49er fans. I'm your host, Grant Cohn, and your favorite team just blew the number one seed and the division title to Sam Darnold at home, even though they held him to 13 points because the Niners scored 3. So, in light of this game, why don't we reassess what we think we know about the 49ers? Because coming into this game, I feel like we were prisoners of the moment. Like, forget what happened all season. Let's just focus on the Niners' hot stretch of games. Let's just focus on their 6-game winning streak because everything before then doesn't matter. This is the team they are. Defense doesn't matter. They're just going to score 40 points every week. You picked the Niners to win this game. Everyone picked the Niners to win this game. Why? Because their offense is unstoppable. Yeah, sure, the Seahawks have the best defense in the NFC, but they've never seen an offense like the 49ers. And I picked the Seahawks to win by 1. I didn't have a ton of conviction. I wasn't convicted, like John Lynch would say. I picked them to win 24-23. And I picked them to win because I didn't believe in the Niners' defense, which was awful in this game. But to their credit, they gave up 13 points, which is great. Doesn't mean they played well, but they gave the Niners a chance to win. The reason the Niners lost this game was their offense, and I didn't see that coming at all. So what is this team? We thought this team was a Super Bowl favorite. People were talking like if they win this game, they're going to be the favorites to win the Super Bowl. Well, they didn't come close. So I think we see that this is not a Super Bowl contending team. Not to be a downer here, but like you got mollywopped. You got bullied. You got smacked in the trenches. You couldn't physically compete with the Seattle Seahawks. That's a hell of a team. The Niners are an incomplete team. Their offensive line isn't nearly good enough without Trent Williams. And even with Trent Williams, Purdy was going to be under siege all day. Christian McCaffrey is washed. I've been trying to tell you guys that. What did Christian McCaffrey do with the season on the line? 8 carries, 23 yards, 2.9 yards per carry. His longest carry of the night was 5 yards. He had 6 catches for 34 yards. His longest catch of the night was 9 yards, and he let a ball go through his hands, which was intercepted. Game over. Goodbye. They need a new running back. I don't know what they were doing all year. Great player, great career, but they spent all year trying to convince themselves that he was actually 26 when he's about to be 30. It's a long season. He had an admirable one. I can't believe he made it this far, but he's on E, and we saw it in this game. Maybe if you would pace Christian McCaffrey through the rest of the year instead of padding his stats, he would have had something left in this game. Or maybe not. Maybe he's just washed, and the rest of the year was just a mirage. What about the wide receivers? I mean, Jawan Jennings got to go. No one's scared of Jawan Jennings. 4 catches, 35 yards. Goodbye. If they give this guy a contract, I don't know what to say. Terrible. Ricky Pearsall didn't play. I mean, dude. I'm not questioning your toughness, but I am questioning your durability. And how can they come into, like I'm already looking to next year, but assuming the Niners don't win the Super Bowl, how do they go into next season when Ricky Pearsall is a starting wide receiver? How do you trust him? He's good when he's healthy, which is once every other month. Do you trade him? Do you bring in a vet next year? I mean, they need 2 starting wide receivers. George Kittle, great player when he's healthy. Was he healthy tonight? Didn't seem like it. Jake Tonjes, nice player when the Niners use him, which is never when George Kittle's around. Would the Niners have been better off in this game if Kittle hadn't played and Tonjes had gotten to actually be a factor? I don't know. And then there's the quarterback. I mean, it's not his fault that the Niners lost this game, but I thought he was the best quarterback in the league. I thought he was elite. How does an elite quarterback put up 3 points with all this talent around him and Kyle Shanahan out? And then there's Kyle. What was that? That was the worst game I've ever seen him call. When he went to a double reverse flea flicker in the second quarter, you knew he was out of ideas. He knew that he wasn't going to win. He was going to trick plays in the second quarter, man. Call a fake punt. That's what you're going to do. Oh, and they can't stop the run. Can't stop the run. They played soft zone coverage on 3rd and 3. Special teams is good, though. They're very good at coercing the other team to miss field goals. It's the best thing the Niners do. This isn't a Super Bowl team. And I think what's mostly ironic is I've been waiting all year. I was patiently waiting through this winning streak. It felt fraudulent, but I wanted to be nice, and I was asking nice questions, and I didn't want to be a Debbie Downer. But I was so ready when the Niners finally lost and came up short. Maybe they win the Super Bowl. I was so ready to say, see, this is why they should have traded for a pass rusher at the deadline, and I still believe they should have. But isn't it ironic that of all the reasons the Niners got mollywopped in this game, the pass rush wasn't one of them? The pass rush was fine. The run defense was non-existent, and the offense was even worse. They needed to trade for a wide receiver at the trade deadline, or a running back, or a play caller. I mean, the Niners can tell themselves, like, look, if Christian hadn't dropped that ball, if that pass hadn't gotten intercepted, maybe we score there. Maybe it's a 3-point game with 10 minutes left. Yeah, I guess there's some scenario where the 49ers miraculously pull off an upset victory over a team that's way better, objectively way better than them. But it didn't happen. And I think if you look back on the Niners' Week 1 win over Seattle, man, some fluky stuff had to go their way to win that game. I mean, Jake Tonjes had to catch a touchdown pass. Maybe if the Niners had thrown him a pass in this game, they win. They had to have Jake Tonjes morph into Dwight Clark. They had to have Nick Bosa strip the ball away from Sam Darnold. Oh, and one more thing. Sam Darnold wasn't great in this game. The Seahawks don't trust him. But he was clutch at the end. You know what he didn't do? He didn't turn the ball over. He didn't get any passes tipped. He wasn't worse than Brock. In the biggest game of his career, he stepped up. Everyone expected him to fall on his face, and he didn't. Neither did Brock. Although, any quarterback on an offense that scores 3 points has to be kind of embarrassed. Nothing for Sam Darnold to be embarrassed about. Did he miss a couple touchdown passes? Yeah. But that wasn't the assignment. He didn't need to light up the Niners in this game because the defense was going to win the game. He just had to not mess it up. And with Darnold, it seems like sometimes he can't help but mess it up. Like, he seems frantic sometimes in the pocket, like he doesn't know what to do. But I thought he was calm, decisive, and frankly, the best quarterback on the field. Shout out to Sam Darnold for kickstarting his career. I think people are going to finally take him seriously if he goes on a playoff run. I mean, last year was embarrassing how it ended, but he's won 7 games in a row. And he's not lighting up the scoreboard, but he's playing winning football, which is not something you can say about the 49ers today. So if they got to face Philly, are they as good as Philly? I don't know. If they get to face Chicago or Tampa or Carolina, yeah, they could beat those teams, but the upper echelon in the NFL, I'd love to see what Brock Purdy would do against the Rams. The Rams are kind of soft. The Seahawks, what we learned today? The Seahawks are not soft. And the Niners kind of are. Their front seven is Swiss cheese. Their run game is not good. We were talking about, like, what happened with the run game? Why is it good all of a sudden? Because they were playing teams that were out of it. They played a team that was giving up 5 yards a carry. Can we just reassess the 6-game winning streak, man? It was fun. It was entertaining. They beat Jacoby Brissett, Bryce Young, Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward, old-ass Phillip Rivers, no disrespect, and Caleb Williams, who lit them up. And isn't that good? When they finally faced a team that's legit, I mean, domination. The score did not reflect how much the Seahawks utterly dominated the 49ers. Across the board. So let's get into blame.